Welcome to Breakdown. It is June 1, 2025. JJ, we're going to talk SEC, Big Ten, and a little bit of everything else in the world of college sports. How you want to start this one today?
Man, dealer's choice. I'm ready to get into whatever you want to get into.
Even though it hasn't come here yet, let's talk some football.
Let's talk football.
Uh, what's new?
What's new in the realm of football?
College football.
There has been some new news that, unlike this past season where Boise State and Arizona State got to be a top four seed by virtue of being one of the four highest conference winners, that will no longer be a thing.
Okay, they're going to make it the rankings.
Yeah, they're just gonna go straight by the rankings.
So just winning your conference don't mean you're going to get an automatic bye.
It does not mean that anymore. So enjoy it while it lasts.
How did you think that worked out last year?
You know, it obviously didn't work out super well for Boise State. They didn't win against Penn State. They looked semi-competitive in the first half, but I never had a doubt in my mind that Penn State was going to win that game.
Well, how did just that the fact that the top SMU getting a bye as well? How does the fact was it SMU?
No.
Or, Arizona State.
Arizona State, yeah.
Okay. How does it how did it work out for football in general? Just having those schools get by when Ohio State didn't get a bye.
Well, I don't think it really mattered for Ohio State. They did win the championship. I think I think it probably ended up working out poorly for Oregon. I think Oregon might have had opportunity to win.
Well, let's not talk about a specific school, but just in general, the idea of winning your conference, getting a bye. Do you like it that they've gone away from that, or do you wish they had stuck with it?
I mean, I like that they're going away from it, but I didn't care that much, honestly. Like, I think college football right now, so long has had so many different issues that I just like that everybody has an opportunity. Okay. But yeah, I do think that it was a little bit skewed. I don't think it was necessarily like the best way to go about who got the buys. But I think the result would have been the same regardless. I think Ohio State would have won the championship regardless.
Okay, we are in agreement. Going into before we talk a little bit more, going into last season, Ohio State from Jump Street, even though they did lose one game to Oregon during the season, they were like
another game to Michigan during season 2.
Okay, they were still heavily favored, given that their roster, their personnel thing. This year, JJ, is there a school that is as highly favored or is personnel so lopsided as Ohio State was last year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there are any betting favorites, just because there's so many question marks at the quarterback position. You don't have like as many fifth year seniors. The betting odds for Heisman favorites coming into the season are Arch Manning #1, and he's played all of 3 games.
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers, who's still
South Carolina.
Yeah, he was a freshman this past season. He's
a redshirt freshman,
but he still didn't have a lot of playing time. There's not a lot that you can point to with him. DJ Lagway from Florida. There's a lot of unproved. Garrett Nussmeier from LSU as well. Now that is a person that you have a lot of tape on. He's a senior. He's been there for forever. He's like your traditional QB.
Penn State's quarterback
too. Drew Aller, he's back. He did not have a spectacular end of the season. He kind of threw the game away to end Penn State's season. But people have been highly thinking highly of him since he was in high school. So,
JJ, who was it that recently said that the Big Ten has surpassed the SEC in football? I'm trying to think, who was that? A coach, Ohio State ex-coach, Florida. Gosh, what's his name?
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer
Okay.
said that the Big Ten has surpassed the SEC. Your take on that?
At the top,
They won the last two.
they have won the last two, and I think that's true at the top. I think when Nick Saban left, I think that created a vacuum. I think Brian Kelly's arrival at LSU did not create the immediate power that a lot of people thought that would happen. And then you have a lot of other programs, traditional powers are in limbo. Florida isn't the Florida of old. You have Auburn. That's I really don't know. Where they're going. You really just have Georgia is like the mainstay.
Yeah.
They're the steady Eddie.
I agree. Is Alabama used to be?
I think it's much too small of a sample size. I mean, this is the first year. Last year was the first year they didn't win double-digit games, and they ended up winning 9 games. So I don't think that they've necessarily fallen off the face of the earth. I think we can give the new coach the grace of one season.
Okay.
I don't know if they've fallen off the face of the earth, but I mean they have to prove that they're still who they once were.
I don't think they're gonna be able to do that.
No, there's only one way to find out.
That's it.
You have to
Play the game.
There's
Play
only
the
one
game.
way. Only way to prove it.
JJ,
Yeah.
in the news recently, there's been talk about the SEC and the Big Ten trying to pull off a coup in college football.
Yeah, the Big 12's athletic director, or not athletic director, the commissioner of the Big 12, Brent Yormark, came out and said that the SEC and the Big Ten need to think about the entirety of college football and not just themselves.
So they were trying to get it so that they increased the number of teams to the playoff from 12 now to 16, and have it that the SEC and the Big Ten each get an automatic 4-team qualifying for that. What's your take on that?
I think that's for the most part semantics. I think usually that they would get those teams in the field.
History
Usually,
would agree with you, but I think it's a bit more than semantics.
yeah. I mean, I think it's
I think it's highway robbery.
yeah. I think they're trying to
Yeah.
guarantee something that is unprecedented.
I know. Well, JJ, let's move from football to b-ball.
Basketball.
What's new in the world of basketball?
The transfer portal window is closed. The opportunity to declare for the NBA draft, that window is also closed as well.
That's right.
So
That's right.
the rosters are finally being finalized. Good news for schools like Michigan and Kentucky. Kentucky got Otega Owe back at the last second. He decided to come back, and Michigan got Yaxel Lindenberg back. Well, they got him back, but he's going to be, he's a transfer from UAB. He hasn't played 1 second for Michigan as of yet. But they're paying him $3 million so that he does play for Michigan this upcoming year. So that's good news for the University of Michigan. Arkansas had a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news. You want to speak on that for a little bit?
Well, Carter Knox, he withdrew from the NBA draft.
Yeah.
So he will be back at Arkansas. Arkansas did lose in the transfer portal their highly touted freshman to Florida, and that would have been Boogie Flan.
Yeah, Boogie Flan. Everybody that goes to play for Camp Cal kind of knows like the deal is you have like a 1-year window to prove yourself if you're the point guard. You kind of have like a 1-year window to prove yourself, and then he'll kind of replace you with the next 5-star point guard in the class, and Arkansas definitely has that guy out of Michigan, Detroit area. So Boogie Flan decided to go where the reigning champs are, play for Todd Graham, Todd Golden, a really good coach, and he did do that. He elected to do that. Now, Adu Thiero is another guy from Arkansas that
he's not going to be at Arkansas next year,
but he's not transferring. He remained in the NBA draft. So,
JJ, what about Jace Richardson, Michigan State?
Jace Richardson, he stayed in the NBA draft.
Wise move on his part?
Yeah, I think in some respects it's a wise move. I mean, he measured in at 6 feet.
That was a disappointment.
Yeah, a little bit. People thought he was listed at 6'3". People thought he might be closer to 6'2" without shoes, but he's under 6'1", without shoes. But he does have a 6'6" wingspan and an 8'2" 2.5" standing reach, which I think is going to be much more important in the long run
Okay.
for his career as a playmaking point guard.
Is
But
he
he's going to have to prove that he's a point guard.
is he a point guard? Does he have handle?
I think he does have the handle to be
Okay.
a point guard, specifically with being left-handed. I think he does.
I'm gonna ask you something. I forgot what I was gonna ask you. Oh, first round or second round?
Oh, he's going to go late first, I believe.
Okay.
You had a lot of guys comparable to him that decided to come back to the college ranks. You had Phylon out of Alabama who came back.
Yeah.
You had that freshman guard from Auburn. What's his name? He's another guy that was about the same height, weight. I can't remember his name, but he was a freshman, 5-star. But he's about the same height, weight as Jace Richardson, and he decided to go back to Auburn. So I think that there is going to be a spot for him. I think there's going to be a team that falls in love with him. He did really well with his athletic testing. He had like a 39-inch vertical.
Okay.
So, and I think if he shoots it well enough and he proves that he can play the one, I think he'll be there. What say you?
I think it was a smart decision.
He's not going to get taller.
It's possible. It's
Well,
possible.
you know what? It's possible.
It's possible, but I do think it was a smart decision. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. Victor Wembanyama, they said he grew an inch.
Yeah. Scottie Pippen grew 6
Yeah.
after high school.
Dennis Rodman grew 6 after high school as well.
Okay. Well, JJ, let's talk about eligibility. And there's a player who wants more. More.
Just one player, huh?
Probably a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are good enough to get paid millions of dollars to play collegiately, but not good enough to get paid millions of dollars to play at the pro ranks. And this one guy is Kai Ziegler, point guard from Tennessee, is arguing that it's an arbitrary, capricious cutoff, the 4-year cutoff, and that it can't be enforced, and he deserves 5th year. They were able to give 5th year eligibility to everybody with a COVID year. Why should someone who just came 1 year after COVID not get that 5th year of eligibility as well? Is his argument.
What do you think about his argument?
I think at this point in time, the NCAA doesn't have any merit to stand on anything. I mean, Diego Pavia said the same thing with JUCOs, and now JUCO, you playing
JUCO doesn't count at all.
Yeah, so I think if you have opportunity to, you might as well test the NCAA, because he will make millions of dollars if he has opportunity to come back to college basketball, and he won't if he doesn't. So
Will he win that case?
yeah, I think he will, because I don't think the NCAA has teeth. I don't think they can do anything anymore. They're all bark.
I tend to agree with you. I think he will win, and so a lot of players who are in that range who are super good college players, but not NBA players. And I think one Hunter Dickinson for one maybe can make money.
Oh yeah,
They can make money in college. And I don't mean school board change.
yeah. I know what you mean, but and to be fair, they do make decent careers post college as well, playing overseas. You
That's
do
true.
make like
That's true.
6 figures, so you're not hurting, but you still might be making 10% of what you're making in college.
And you're away from the country a lot too.
$100,000 is great. Yeah, you're out of the country, but you might be making $100,000. That's still 10%. That's 5% of what you might be making in college. So.
Okay. Anything else on college basketball?
Nothing more to say really. I mean,
Okay.
we have the returnees back. We have college, it's the most recent sport, but football. We're still in the middle of baseball season, and we're always looking towards football season. So.
Well, JJ, today is June 1. In meteorology, it's the first day of summer.
Okay.
So, who are the boys of summer? Let's talk about the boys of summer.
The boys of summer.
Baseball.
Okay.
The baseball championship is going on now. It started Friday with 64 teams. After Monday, it will be down to 16 teams. Anything happening in there that surprises you or interests you?
Yeah, I mean, well, the number 1 overall seed Vanderbilt, they were down 5-1 against Wright State, but they just they were down 5-1 going into the ninth inning to Wright State, and it's 5-4 now. So
Whoa.
and they have two guys on, so who knows what could happen. But Vanderbilt, they lost to Louisville last night. They lost to Wright State earlier.
That's right.
So they're the number one overall seed. So that's always a surprise when the number one overall seed.
The Big Ten started out in the college playoffs pretty impressive. Nebraska won. Only team to lose, I think. Oregon lost both of their games. They've been eliminated, and they were a 1 seed in their region.
Yeah.
But UCLA, USC, they're all still playing as we talk right now. The SEC, JJ, has underperformed.
Yeah, they've underperformed, but they have so many different teams. It was always going to be hard for them to overperform. It was going to be hard for them to do that. I mean, they had so much representation.
Okay, JJ, what about the girls of summer? Do you know? And I'm getting away from the Big Ten SEC thing right now. I'm going to talk Najee, and I'm mispronouncing her name probably. Nigera, or whatever. Kennedy,
yeah, the former Stanford pitcher.
who now is a Texas Tech pitcher.
Yeah.
Tell me about her, JJ.
Well, she's getting 7 figures to throw a softball. Who would have thought?
She is a pitcher. She's making the NIL gave her a contract of $1,050,000 playing softball. Now, all you men out there who got a daughter, make sure you get them into the softball arena really, really early so they can be making $1 million in college.
Yeah, because that's the
That's the trend, though, JJ.
yeah.
And you know what? I think I heard you say earlier that Caitlin Clark might have let America know that women can make money too playing sports, and I think other people are going to be making that kind of money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think basketball has a unique position because while it's not the second most popular league, the NBA isn't. It's the second most popular sport. I do think there's a lot of opportunity for baseball players, softball players, specifically. I think more so than soccer, more so than volleyball or anything like that. I think there's a real opportunity. And the NFL wants there to be a real opportunity for flag football. That's why they're pushing flag football hard.
Yeah. Well, JJ,
start getting your daughter throwing. There's going to be scholarships coming to college your way soon.
throwing football,
Yeah.
baseball.
Yes. Football, softball,
Okay.
volleyball. Have her throwing.
Well, JJ, we've been away for a while. We're just getting back. It's summer. There's a lot of things on the horizon. The NBA draft, college football is less than June, July, August, less than 100 days away.
Yeah, college football is always on the horizon.
It is 24/7 every day of the year. But JJ, I want to go before we get out of here. I just want to go back really quick and get your projection for the College World Series winner.
Well,
if you want, because it's still early, if you want, you can give me 2, but I need at least 1 right now.
Well, Vegas has Arkansas as their odds-on favorite to win.
All right.
Win their first College World Series. I will not be a homer and pick them for that. I also will not be picking Vanderbilt because they did just lose to Wright State.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Florida State. Why not?
I like Florida State, but you know what? If I had to go right now, I'm gonna go with Arkansas and North Carolina. The ACC, JJ, has been playing some baseball early in the tournament.
Yeah, yeah, they do that.
But that's it for now, man.
That's it for now.
WPS.
Who picks Suey?
We out of here.